everybody, welcome back. So I thought I would do a bit of a different introduction this morning. So I just wanted to show you how my makeup turned out in natural light. And this was using all affordable drugstore products today. But this one product, I will say, this is a couple hours now after I have filmed the video. I am obsessed with this one product, and you'll see that from the thumbnail. This is an amazing product. So glad I was able to find it. So if you're curious to see what products I used to create this look, let's get into it. I love creating looks using all drugstore products, and that's what we use today. Some of them are completely new to my collection, and I also have one not so great product. So these are some of my funnest videos to do because I am a drugstore girl at heart. I love using drugstore products. I think that there is so many different items that you can use that are dupes for higher end products. And some of the products today I am really excited to try out because they are new to my little drugstore collection. So we're just going to jump right into it. I've already prepped my skin with my regular skincare routine, and I did put on the Lash Sensational Booster Serum. I've been using this, I'm going to say, a couple months now. From what I can gather from looking in the mirror, I have a little bit of fullness happening and a little bit of lengthening happening. Now, it's not one of those serums like that I've tried that it's like, oh my goodness, she must be using a lash serum. Look at her lashes, they look awesome. It's not one of those type of serums, and I'm gonna be honest, there's been a couple days where I forgot to put it on. The thing about these products is consistency, right? So if you forget like a couple of days, that makes a difference. So my bad, I have forgotten a couple of days, but where I remember, I try and remember every day if I can. I think it's made a tiny little bit difference on my lashes. I'm not saying it's like a dramatic difference, but it's made a little bit of a difference. So I'm just going to continue to use it, and I'll keep gathering my thoughts on it. I have my moisturizer on, my eye cream on, and we're going to first start off with a primer. So this is the cult favorite e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. And I like to put this one just in the areas where my pores are the largest. And it just helps diffuse those areas, diffuse the pores. And it does help, at least on my skin, I find it helps my foundation or whatever products I'm using to stay on longer throughout the day. I like to kind of fill it in on my forehead where I have those, bigger lines. And then down on my chin area where I have a few other pores. And then I just give it a little pat. So while that's sinking into my skin, we're going to go in with brows, and we're going to go in with the Covergirl. This is the Easy Breezy Brow. I have this one in the shade Rich Brown. This eyebrow pencil is, I'm going to say, probably my second favorite from the drugstore. My first is my Holy Grail Maybelline, but this one comes in a very close second. I like how the tip is quite precise, and I can really get into those hairs, and it just deposits enough color, and it lasts throughout the day. I don't usually have any issues with my eyebrows looking faded at all. And I just want to say thank you to you guys, because it seemed like you guys really enjoyed that last video I did on a full face of L'Oreal. That was a really popular video, so I love that. I love seeing it when you guys really enjoy the content. I have a couple of other drugstore brands that I want to do. Like an updated version. I have already done them in the past, but I want to update them with some other products. There's only so many drugstore brands, right, that I can kind of make a video of. And there is, I'm going to be honest, there's a couple of drugstore brands that I just don't gravitate to for whatever reason. I'll use a few products from the line here and there, but there's some of the brands I just don't gravitate to. I have done videos on them, but I haven't expanded my collection at all to include other products from those brands. Okay, brows are all done. The next thing we're going to go in with is, it's a new product to me, and I know it's been out for a while, because usually when I say these are new affordable drugstore products, they're usually new just to me. But anyhow, we'll go in with the Wet n Wild. This is the Bare Focused Tinted Hydrator. I know so many people have said this is amazing. It is like a tinted serum type of product. It is actually called a tinted skin veil. From what I understand, it's like a light to a medium buildable coverage. It has hyaluronic acid in it. It's lightweight and for all skin tones. We'll see how this builds up. I do have a standby product if it doesn't give me the coverage that I'm looking for. But I picked this one up in the shade light medium. In the store that I was shopping in, it didn't have like a huge shade range at the actual store, but I think that there was more choices when you go online. And it's nice. It has one of those tamper-proof little tabs here that you can just pull off. So it's that I always like those when you know that nobody's kind of tested it in the store. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a shake. Now it does say to apply it first with your fingers and then go in with like a beauty tool to shear things out. So I'm just going to start with that much. And we'll start. Oh, it's a good shade match. Excellent. I always love it when I can get a good shade match. Now it does have like a tiny bit of a scent, but it's not like a floral scent. It's not. It just kind of smells like clean, I guess, like a clean scent. Oh, this is really, really nice. Oh, I like how it really feels like creamy on the face. It said it was really good for a dry skin. Oh, this feels really beautiful on the skin. Oh my goodness, that feels great. It is that, lighter coverage. I can see that my natural skin is poking through. Oh, it's hard to describe the feeling. Like it feels like a bit of a creamy texture. If you hear a little bit of a whirring sound, I have my fan going in here today because I'm having one of those days where we need some air and some coolness going on today. I can see what people are raving about with this. It is beautiful. Like, I love how it's giving me like a really soft feel on my face. And it just blended in like with my fingers. All of these type of products, like anytime I use like a skin tint, like those type of products, CC cream, BB creams, I do generally like to apply them with my fingers first, and then I'll go in with like usually a sponge after and just blend things in. But this feels beautiful. I am so glad that I was able to find it finally. I kept going back to the store and waiting, kept looking. I could see that there was an area where it was going to be coming in. So I'm so glad we finally got it. It does say it leaves like a semi matte, which I can see. I do look still hydrated in this area right here, but it is giving me kind of like a little bit of a matte look. So I think this is a great base if you wanted to have any more additional coverage, which I'm going to go in with another product here. I think this has done a nice job, and my skin looks so hydrated. That's amazing. So I'm going to go in for just to do a little bit of spot correcting on my face. I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. This is the Camo CC cream. Now, several months ago, I had e.l.f. sent some PR to me. And at that time, I had picked a shade. It was a little bit too dark when I'll insert the video here that I did of the e.l.f. The CC cream that I chose was a little bit dark. So what I've done now is I waited for it to come into the stores here in Canada, and I finally found it. So I went and picked up a shade that's more, hopefully, my shade. This one is light 210, and we'll just take I don't want a lot because this is going to give me a little bit more coverage. So I'm just taking like that much, and I'm going to apply it in areas where it hasn't given me enough coverage from the other one. And again, I'm going to blend it in with my fingers because the warmth of my fingers is really going to help it settle into my skin. And with this product, I will go in with my sponge just to make sure it's all evened out. So I'm just taking my e.l.f., which is one of the most affordable sponges that I have found at the drugstore. And in my humble opinion, I think this really does rival the Beauty Blender. All right, so super, super impressed with the combination of both of these products. My skin looks amazing. I love how it's just giving me that like a hydrated kind of look, but it's not looking dry at all. And my skin feels like so soft. Oh my goodness, I love that. So two big thumbs up for these so far. For concealer, I only think I've shown this on my channel maybe once or twice, but it's the Revlon Colorstay Skin Awaken. It's a newer concealer. I'm not going to say brand new. I think it's been out for a few months, but it's a 5-in-1 concealer. So this one comes like, it's similar to the Maybelline Age Rewind, where it has like one of those spongy kind of tips, and I'm pressing right now to make sure that the product is going to come up to the top, and I apply it just kind of in the area where I need it the most. I don't deposit a lot of color because I don't want it getting all cakey. And I'm going to just put some on my eyelids as my primer. And I'm also going to include brushes where I can that are affordable. So this is just the Real Techniques. This is a concealer brush. And I just blend it in. For the shade, I picked it up in 001, which is more of like a neutralizer kind of shade. But this is a creamy formula. It doesn't do a lot of creasing. It gives me pretty decent coverage. Now I was contemplating whether to add any powder, but I think I'm gonna leave everything because everything is looking quite hydrated right now, and I really like that. My under eye area is looking hydrated. My face is looking hydrated. But the one I had sitting kind of on standby, which is one of my favorites, it's the Covergirl, the Simply Ageless Instant Wrinkle Blurring Pressed Powder. I really enjoy this one. It doesn't give me that really like a dry looking effect on my face, and it does help blur those pores that I have in here. It's very well used because, you know, I have the lid missing. But if you're looking, this is one of my favorite pressed powders from the drugstore. Like I said, I'm just going to leave everything today as is. We're going to go in now with eyeshadows. So I couldn't decide which one I wanted to use. For these two are super affordable little eyeshadow palettes from the drugstore. So the first one is the Essence Taupe It Up, and this is more of, I'm gonna say more like kind of cool shades there. Let me just pull the plastic off here. I have you can clearly see I haven't used it yet. Okay, that's better. So very pretty shades. What I enjoy about little palettes like this is for the amount of money I spent on this palette, it comes with a little mirror. And you know what, honestly, sometimes you can spend so much money on expensive eyeshadow palettes and they don't even come with a mirror. So I don't know how these guys, just a simple little eyeshadow palette and they give you a mirror. I love that. And then the next one we're going to go in with is, I'm going to do a combination of the two. It's the e.l.f., those little bite-sized palettes. Now this is a new little quad for me. This is in the shade I Love You A Latte, which I thought was such a cute little name. I have, I think, 2 or 3 other ones. So what I enjoy about this one, though, is that these are all matte shades. Like, there's no shimmers, whereas some of the other little e.l.f. bite-sized palettes, they have usually a couple of shimmers in there. So I really thought that was interesting, because I love matte shades. I do like a little bit of sparkle, but I love majority of my stuff is matte. So what we're going to start off with is this one right here, which is going to be my transition shade. It's like a cream color, like a vanilla color. Oh, and I should mention, this is the only non-drugstore related item that I'll mention to you, but because they're having a sale right now. So it's the BK Beauty. I'm using, like this one right now, I'm using the Hot and Flashy. This is the 503. This is like a blending brush. The whole BK Beauty site is having a 20% off sale for Mother's Day. So it's currently going on right now until Mother's Day, May 8th. But I did want to just mention that to you guys. I'll put the code down here. This is not affiliated. This is nothing like that. This is just a discount for anybody that goes onto the site. So I'll leave their website down in my description box. Go check it out. If you've been kind of, thinking about buying brushes, I would highly suggest doing it now while that sale is on. 20% is a pretty good discount, and they don't happen very often. So I would say when you're finished watching the video, go run over and grab some brushes. They are truly my favorite brushes. I love the BK Beauty all the brushes. So I'm taking that and it's going to go all over my lid, right up into my eyebrows. This brush in particular is so fluffy and soft, and if you tap the brush off like really well, you don't get any fallout from these palettes. I think that's awesome for a little drugstore palette. And whenever I do put prices on the screen, just keep in mind that those are always going to be Canadian prices. All right, so let's go into now the Essence palette, and I want to go in with that gray shade right there. Let's see what that looks like. And for that one, we're going to go in with this is just an e.l.f. a fluffy eye blender brush. Again, super affordable. So that's going to give you some really nice, cool vibes. And I'm just putting it on my lid as well. Oh, that's really pretty. I like that. I don't usually have like a grays and all that sort of stuff. I think this is nice. The actual shadow is blending well. It's not like chalky. I'm not having to really put a lot of effort into the blending, which I love it when that happens. There's sometimes eyeshadows you're like really working it in, and there was one time, I can't remember which eyeshadow it was now, but my eye actually started hurting. I was having to try and blend it in so much, but these are blending in like a dream. And then I'm going to take this little shimmer shade right there. And I'm going to put that right in the center of my eye. I'm going to just use my finger to apply it. It's quite a pretty shimmer. And I'm going to use my little mirror here. That's such a great idea. And I'm just putting it right in the center. And that really just makes your eyes pop, kind of gives you, makes your eyes look a little bit bigger and more like awake. This little palette, if I'm being honest, this little palette could really rival some of the shades in my ColourPop Stone Cold Fox palette. Like some of these shades, because it's that kind of that cool toned, very pretty. Lovely. That is just lovely. I love how compact it is. You can just kind of throw it in your makeup bag and it's just like so little. Now I ended up picking another shade of my favorite eyeliner, which is the L'Oreal Eyeliner Signature Pencil. But I picked up Blue Jersey. So I have the black one and I also have the brown one. And when I saw that they had a navy one, I thought that would be really nice for this look, really complement the colors. This is my favorite like pencil brand. The shade is really pretty. It's a nice like a denim shade. So I first want to use this to tightline. And that just fills in kind of all those little gaps on my upper lash line. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a line just above my lashes. The formula on these pencils is so creamy. They just glide on. The formulation just stays on. Like I never have any issue with it fading throughout the day. And it's fairly affordable. It's not the cheapest pencil at the drugstore by far, but it's still right up there with being quite affordable. I like how that the blue eyeliner, it's kind of out of my zone of what I usually use. I use, you know, more grays or browns, that sort of thing, but the blue, I'm quite liking it. It's a different look for me, that's for sure. So the mascara we're going to go in with today is the Maybelline the Curl Bounce, the Colossal Curl Bounce. I do really enjoy this one. It does give me that fuller effect and a little bit of lengthening. It has one of those wands that is curved. So I use the indented end and I wiggle it back and forth. There are so many mascaras at the drugstore that I really enjoy using. Each mascara I find kind of does a different thing, but this one lately has really, I've given it a big thumbs up. It doesn't clump on me. I can build it up and it still doesn't clump. So that is one coat. So you can see it does a nice job, and it definitely gives me that fuller like lengthening to my lashes. I just wanted you to see what the mascara looks like after 2 coats. It's giving me fullness. I am going to quickly go and throw some lashes on, but I wanted to just kind of show you what it looks like before I do that. Okay, so lashes are on. I also went in with my Rimmel. Well, it's so used, I can't even, it's all worn off. I think it's called Scandalize. I'll have to look it up. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, but I can't even, it's so worn off. I've used it so much. And this one I use in my bottom waterline. I think this is one of the best pencils out there. Doing your waterline, it is waterproof and it stays for a good amount of the day. So this is what, like I said, one of my favorites from the drugstore. Okay, so this is one, I'm just so excited for this product. Also, I'll let you know what it is. It's the Physicians Formula Bread and Butter Bronzer. When I first saw this on the Physicians Formula Instagram, and I saw like it has a bronzer, a blush, and also a highlighter. And the highlighter looked so cute. It has a couple of like little like champagne glasses in the center, and then the blush has like little strawberries all over it. So I saw this collection come out, and I think it had glosses and stuff too. And I was like, oh, like, can I get this? So I quickly Googled it, whether I could get it here in Canada. Sure enough, I couldn't get it. So I kept bugging them on their, they were probably so tired of me. I kept bugging them on their Instagram saying, when's this going to be available in Canada? When's this going to be available in Canada? So they replied back to me. They said it's going to be available in April. So as soon as April hit, I went to the store, didn't see it. So I quickly was like, do you know when in April this is going to be coming to Canada? And they said sometime in the middle of April it's going to be coming out. Well, sure enough, and I kept going back to the store. Well, sure enough, I went in just last week and I found it, and I bought all 3 of them, but I'm only going to use the bronzer today because I wanted to use a couple of the other products from another brand, but I have to try this bronzer today. So I love Physician Formula bronzers. I think there's just something about their bronzers. The formulation is fantastic. It's really changed since, like, the original butter bronzer. One of the shades just didn't apply great on my face, and it just didn't give me enough pigmentation. But I'm going to say over the last couple of years, they definitely have done something so that it has improved, because now I absolutely love their bronzers. Okay, there it is. I like how it has just like a little press tab, so you press that and it opens up. Oh, look at how beautiful that looks. I was so excited to try this. And it has one of those, there's a mirror, and then it also has a little sponge underneath. I don't usually use the sponges. I'll go in with my bronzer brush. Again, BK Beauty. This is the 103 bronzer brush. So I'm just going to take it and swirl it around. So I'm just going to start off by applying it on my cheek and taking it up into my usual hairline. Oh, this is really pretty. I love how it is like a matte. It doesn't have like a shimmer to it. It's depositing the color great. Oh, I really like the color. That's nice. I think I've pretty much bought all of their collections the last little while that they've had these collections come out. Oh, that is simply beautiful. Love it. That is gorgeous. I love it. Oh, it looks beautiful. Okay, and then I'm just going to take it down my neck. I'm going to put it along my jawline. And I forgot to mention, this is the shade Toasty, but I'm in love. I love this bronzer. I think this is one of the best bronzers that they've done, like in a while. I love how the matte really looks great. Okay, I'm in love. This is awesome. Love this one. Next, we're going to go in with blush. So I wanted to use the NYX The Sweet Cheeks. This has become a real big favorite of mine. And what it is, it's a liquid blush. It has an applicator. And I've just been using it. I just apply it kind of up on the higher part of my cheek. And then I've been taking my BK Beauty, this is a blush brush, the 107. And I pinch the brush together. And then I just gently stipple it in. I always start off with a really light hand first. This is quite a pigmented blush. There was several different shades. I just liked this one in particular. And then to blend it in a bit more, I just take my sponge and just go like this to try and diffuse the color ever so slightly. You do have to work a little bit fast with this one, or it does kind of stick to your skin, but extremely pigmented, like extremely pigmented, trust me. So I forgot to tell you, this one I have it in the shade Coralicious, and amazing. Like, you literally need a couple of dabs. This is going to last forever because all you need is a couple of dabs of this stuff. Next, we're going to go in with my favorite highlighter right now. I have been using this nonstop. Now, I'm going to say this is just a tiny bit more than probably a regular highlighter would be at the drugstore, but I think this is so worth it. It's the Burt's Bees The Luminizer. Oh, I have no words other than to say this is just like perfection. This is perfection. So I take a little bit, it comes like as a squeezy tube, and I take literally just like a little dot, like that much, and I rub it between my 2 fingers, and I just gently apply it to the high point of my cheek, and it gives such a gorgeous glow to the skin. It's one of those versatile products where you could blend it in with your, like, mix it in with your foundation if you want, or mix it in with your moisturizer, just if you wanted to just kind of give yourself a little bit of a glow that day. And then I take my sponge and just very gently tap it in, make sure it's all blended in there. But look at that just serious like glow. I know I can kind of see it on the monitor right now. I'm going to blend it in a bit better, but look at that glow. It is just gorgeous. And I've had a few of you actually reach out, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much, with some video ideas. So I have added some of your ideas to my list, and I will try and get to them as fast as I can. But again, remember, I'm usually only putting out one video a week. So hopefully at some point I will get to them. But I appreciate that. I love hearing your guys, what your suggestions are, because then that just helps me create the content for you. See, isn't that just beautiful? Love it, love it, love it. And whatever I have left on my fingertips, I just take a tiny bit and put it down the center of my nose. And just not my Cupid's bow, but the combination of the two cream products don't settle into my fine lines, especially when I'm working around my eyes here where I have, you know, my crow's feet kind of inching their way out. So I find the cream products just don't settle into those areas, which I really appreciate that. Okay, so for the lips today, we're going to go in with my little obsession I have right now. I have just a tiny obsession with the Milani Lip Fetish lipsticks. I have 5 shades. I know that they have quite a shade range now. They just came out with some more like pinky shades, I think, for spring. And I have a few of the shades that came out originally. So I wasn't sure how this was all going to work today and what shade would look nice with the look that I have going. Okay, so I swatched them for you guys. So this one here is called Tease. The next one here is called Pleasure. This dusty rose one right here is called Secret. This pink one right here is called Petal. And this last one here is called Peony. I think I'm going to go in with Secret, which is more of like a dusty rose. But these are fantastic lipsticks. The fact that they're a matte, but they are so comfortable, they don't feel like a matte lipstick at all. So we're first going to go in with a new lip liner. And I've never had a Milani lip liner before. So I have this in the shade Nude Entrance. So it's called an Understatement lip liner. Oh, good. It's a retractable. I thought it was a pencil. So that's good. I love retractable lip liners. And I find when I buy the nude shades, they kind of go with any shade that I may be using as a lipstick. This glides on amazing. Wow. And it doesn't feel like dry on the lip at all. I always fill in my whole lip with the lip liner that'll help the lipstick stay on longer through the day. Okay, so now we're going with the lipstick. But it's just amazing the formulation, how they've made it matte but creamy at the same time. And then if you want to add a little bit of extra shine to it, the lip glosses that I love from the drugstore are the Maybelline, the lifter glosses. Now I just picked out of my stash the 2 that are more of like a clear. I think I have 3 other ones that have color to them, but I didn't want to add any more color to the actual shade. So this one I have in the shade 02 Ice and 01 Pearl. So I think for today, I'm going to add the 02 just because it has a nice little pink hue to it. And I apply it just in the center of my lip. By doing that, it makes your lips look a little bit fuller by just applying it in the center. So I am super impressed how this look turned out using so many affordable drugstore products. I'm going to just point out a few that stood out for me. I'm not going to go through everything because that'll take me forever. But the few that really were standouts for me is this Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. Oh my goodness, you guys, this is great stuff. If you're looking for one of those no makeup products, or just a nice, it could use it as like a primer. That's kind of how I did it today. I used that as a nice primer under my skin, but the coverage is really great for buildable like coverage if you're looking for that, or if you're looking for more of just a sheer look. This did a fantastic job. I love how my skin looks. It looks super hydrated, even with adding the e.l.f. CC cream onto it. Just in the areas, though, that I wanted a little bit more coverage. But the star of the whole face is this Tinted Hydrator. So I am so happy we finally got it here in Canada and I was able to try it. This is a huge thumbs up for me. Love this stuff. and it's not, you know, doing any settling into my fine lines. It's almost like it's kind of glossed over those fine lines that I get really bad in my smile lines. The other products, a couple of the other products, I am really happy with this little Essence Taupe It Up eyeshadow palette, and then also the e.l.f. You know, e.l.f., I mean, like I said, I've had these on my channel before, but I really liked how these are just all mattes. So I'm going to create another look. I'm thinking of another video that I'm going to do, and I'll use it in that one, more of the shades. This was a great little addition to my eyeshadow collection, and how affordable it is. Love it. Did a great job. Look at how beautiful. It's just that nice cool toned look on my lids, and it didn't have any fallout. Like, there was no fallout on my face, so I think that is awesome. There was a whole bunch of different shades, but I gravitated to this one because I wanted to try the cool, like the cool shades. What can I say any more about this bronzer? I love this bronzer. This did such a great job on bronzing up my face, and I liked how, like I mentioned before, I liked how it was like that matte, and there's no like sparkly kind of stuff going on my face. So they did a great job. This is, I believe, a limited edition one. So if you're wanting it, it's called the Bread and Butter limited edition line. I would say run out and get it. If you can find it, run out and get it. And then this lip liner, I've never, like I said, I've never tried a Milani lip liner before. This glided on amazing. This is, I'm going to say, right up there with my NYX retractable lip liner that I really enjoy. I do like this shade in particular, the Nude Entrance one. It's a little bit of a nude shade than my NYX one is, but I loved how it glided on, and so far there's not like no feathering or anything at all like that. And then I just can't say enough about any of the Milani lipsticks. I love the packaging. It's, for the price point, I think these are fantastic, and they last. Like, I'm going to have this on now for quite a while throughout the day, which is shocking for a bullet lipstick. Bullet lipsticks, that's why I don't normally use them. I'm more of a liquid lipstick person because they last longer. Like I said about the formulation, they just do something to this formula that they last all day. Something I was just noticing actually about most of the products that I used today, and this wasn't intentional, was just how it worked out. A lot of these brands, like the e.l.f. brand, Physicians Formula, the Burt's Bees, the Wet n Wild, all of those brands they're either like cruelty-free or vegan. So if that's something that's important to you, those brands represent that. So I really do enjoy that and appreciate that when I can use those type of products. I would say out of everything, the only one product that I'm not like 100% loving right now is actually this Revlon concealer. I'm finding that, I'll come a little bit closer for you guys. What I'm finding is there is just a little bit, I call them shark fins, kind of in my inner corners here, where it almost looks like they're wrinkling up into my inner corner. So that's the only thing I would say that is not like wowing me about the concealer. I have used it a few times. It's not my go-to concealer, but it's really, I don't know, for whatever reason, it's really emphasizing in those lines today. It's not doing any creasing, so I do like that. It's not like there's no creasing under my eye today, so that part of it is a plus. But it's I mean, my under eye looks okay. Like it does look a little bit hydrated still under my eye, but I can see definitely like my fine lines are kind of coming through. So yeah, that's not pleasing me very much, but it's not it. So out of everything, I guess that's the one product that's just not kind of giving me like that, wow, I must, run out and buy kind of product. So I just want to thank you so much for stopping by. And if you haven't already, I would love for you to consider subscribing to my channel. Make sure to hit that little notification bell right beside it, and that way you're notified whenever I upload new videos. And make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if that's the type of content that you enjoy. That also helps my channel out a lot. And as I always mentioned, everything is always linked and listed down below in my description box. And don't forget to check out the BK Beauty sale. I also have their website down below, and that's a site-wide sale. So it applies to everything on the site, the brushes, there's an eyeshadow palette, there's lipsticks. So if you've been considering trying out any of the BK Beauty products, I highly suggest running over and grabbing some stuff right now. And don't forget, you can always follow me over on Instagram and Twitter. I have all of those. Everything is always down in the description box. And thank you so much for taking part of your day to spend with me. I always appreciate that. And as always, I hope everybody has a great week and a great life, and I'll see you all very soon in my next video. Bye!